Hello. So my name is Crystal, and to make a long story short, I wanted to speak about how I used to be a housekeeper at a huge hospital in South Carolina. This job helped me pay my bills, and it helped me get my first car and my first home. So yeah, I think it's a very important story to tell. When I was in high school, I sort of got kicked out of the house at age 17, and I was about to turn 18 the next month. So I ended up moving in with my boyfriend and his roommates. They were already in the process of getting evicted they got evicted first from their apartment. So they had to move into his apartment that had the 1 bedroom. It was 6 of us in the house. Everybody was coupled up. Me and my ex slept in the main bedroom, and then they slept in the living room. So it was very, very crowded. The house couldn't have been no more than 700 square feet. We were all living there, and we ended up having to, because he was already in the process of getting evicted as well, we had to go ahead and find another apartment. And since their credit was already messed up because they got evicted from their apartments, me and one of my other roommates put the new apartment in our name. We ended up falling out. That's a very long story. While we were living there, I was finishing up the 12th grade, so it was a lot going on. I had to make money. I was already working at a grocery store called Food Lion, and I hated it because I was not a people person. I was a cashier, and as you know, a cashier, if you're not a people's person, you more than likely is going to really despise that job. And I hated it. Every time I thought about going there, my heart would start racing, and I'd get a headache, and it was terrible. People don't realize, people who don't have social anxiety do not realize how much it can affect you physically. Anyways, yes, so I was working there part-time because I was still in high school, trying to graduate, get my credits, everything, focus on going to a college as well. So I said I cannot keep dealing with people. Y'all, my confidence was very low. So I feel like if you have low confidence dealing with people, you're not going to handle that well, because the things that people can say to you can easily affect you when you don't believe in yourself, and when you get what I'm saying. So I always used to say that I wanted to be a forensic pathologist, do autopsies, because I wouldn't have to really speak to nobody like that. It would just be me and the body. I know it's creepy. I can't do it. I really can't do it. But that's what I wanted to do. I wouldn't have to really deal with people like that, or at least that's what my 18-year-old mind told me. So my mom has a cleaning business that I worked at for a little while, and at the time, this idea sprung into my head because my ex's grandparents passed, and we had to go to the hospital. His grandparents passed within 2 or 3 months within each other, and so we were at the hospital, and I saw the housekeepers there, and I said, they're cleaning rooms. All they have to deal with is pulling trash, cleaning. They really don't have to directly deal with people most of the day. So I talked to them, and then they told me the temporary agency to go through, and I went there, finally got the job. I was in there. I was getting paid what was I getting paid? I was getting paid $8.50 or $8 an hour. It was low, but I was working full time, and with us splitting our bills in the house amongst 6 people, we was able to make it work. That job, I was really ashamed of it, because when you tell people when you're 18 and you do a job like that, cleaning behind people, cleaning up all types of bodily fluids. You have like a trash cart with you, and I guess it gives like the look isn't glamorous to people. And it was older ladies who was working that job, and there were like maybe 4 other young girls there who were about my age, maybe about 2 or 3 years older, so around 21, 22, maybe 25 as well. Felt like people were looking down at me when I told them, like, you know, I was a housekeeper at the hospital. But man, when I tell you, look, it was 3 months that I was working at the temp agency. I was finally able to get hired on through the actual hospital, so that increased my pay to $10 an hour. And since I was working second shift, because I started second shift because my high school 12th grade classes were ending at like 2:30, so that gave me, it was perfect. The second shift was like 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. It was perfect. But yeah, so I was from 3 p.m. through 7 p.m. you get paid $10 an hour. Then the shift differential, it is $1 more after 7 p.m. My checks maybe every 2 weeks was like $700, not much at all. But rent back then was a little bit more cheap. After we ended the lease with our roommates, it was like a 6-month lease, thank goodness. Finally, I got an apartment with my boyfriend. It was only in my name, but I got an apartment with my boyfriend. He was helping me pay, with my ex, he was helping me pay the bills. I was paying off my credit cards, doing well. I was not an impulsive spender like I am now. Like, I would spend money at the drop of a dime. What I got to say about people who have jobs like that, like, y'all, do not let people dictate what you should be doing in your life, especially if it's making money and it's working for you. That job, that $10 an hour job, got me my house. I was able to get my house at 19 years old, and I was going through college at the same time. It was online school at a technical school, but I was still, that was hard because it was full-time and I was working full-time, but I was able to pay my bills with it. Even after me and my ex broke up, I was still able to pay my bills. I had my credit cards. I was able to pay off. If I didn't have cash, you know, use my credit cards. It was good. It paid the bills, and it was something that I enjoyed versus working a job like being a cashier where I just absolutely hated my life. Like, every time I looked at a cashier, I'd feel great sadness for them. Even if they were smiling, I was like, they're smiling through the pain. They can't like this job dealing with these damn customers. They can't. I could see people wanting you to go into a different career to help increase your pay, encourage you to find another job that you actually enjoy. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. Now, it had its moments. It really did. Like, I worked with a lot of older women, and it's crazy because I'm friends with a lot of older people. I only have like one friend who's my age, and she's been my best friend since like middle school. So, but I mentioned how I was going to college and also going to work at the same time. So a lot of the times I would bring my laptop to work with me so that when I had like some downtime, I cleaned the rooms pretty fast and well at that. Like, I did a good job. I did a great job, actually. When I would have some downtime, I'd be like, okay, well, let me go ahead and get my laptop and go in the closets. I wouldn't sit in the break rooms with the nurses or the nurse techs or whatever, because I just didn't want to invade their personal space, and they were kind of funny about that, like people sitting in their break rooms. So yes, I would go into the closets, the housekeeping closets, and sit down and do my schoolwork. The ladies would walk in and they'd snitch on me. So it was like a running joke at the hospital, like, or at least in the housekeeping department, like, Crystal be sitting in that closet doing nothing. Like, I do my work. I was working at like one of the, because you know how hospitals could have like different hospitals attached to it. Like, I was working at the children's hospital, which in the children's hospital, it is a lot of trash because it's children, and they have like popsicles everywhere. It was like hair weave at times stuck to the floor, chocolate, candy, like the towels was all over the place. It was bad. So I was like doing a great job in those rooms, and the thing that would get me about that was the ladies would always be in the hallways talking with each other, or they'd be like in the break rooms, because you know some of them were cool with the nurses and stuff. So they'd be in the break rooms just sitting down eating their little crackers and just having a funky old conversation about something that they shouldn't even, about somebody's business that they shouldn't even be minding. So like, I'm sitting here doing my work and y'all got a problem with that? Are you serious? Now that was something that was really, really difficult to deal with. I got through it. Whenever I went to night shift, things got worse because I had a hating behind supervisor. That's another story for another day. But yes, y'all, I was making once I got the night shift, I was making $11 an hour, and I was finally able, since I was working for a year, I was finally able to, and then I was working like with my mom before that, so I had like enough work history to apply through this program, that helped like low income people with, it assisted them with getting a mortgage. And yeah, that's how I mean, I had money saved up. Like I said, this was before I was an impulsive buyer, and my credit was way better, so I was able to apply and get my own home. So people, I felt like people would look down on me because of the type of job that I had, but at the same time, I was able to get through college with that job, and I was able to get a house. Now, was I stressed out? Hell yes. I was stressed out. Like, I was drinking a lot during that time too, because I didn't know any other person who was doing that. I didn't know them personally. All of my other friends, like, they were either not going to school, and if they were going to school, they didn't have to work because like their parents help them with their bills, or whoever helped them with their bills. I was working full-time, and I also had to an online school. Y'all, I still had to like study as if I was, and it was even, online school is even more difficult than regular school because you have to teach yourself. You have to really motivate yourself to get up and do the work, and you really have to read. Like, you have to read and make sure that you understand the lesson. You don't really have that one-on-one time with the teacher to where they could break things down as well as they could if you were with them physically, like in the physical classroom. So, oh my gosh. And don't let you get a teacher who just writes paragraphs upon paragraphs and you just like, what are you talking about? Like, lady, could you just like, oh my gosh, I had this one English teacher. The topics that she would have for us to write about, it would just be these long passages, and it's like, please just get to the point. What are you talking about? What do you want us to write about? Like, you're just going around and around in circles with 8 paragraphs, and it's a simple question that you're supposed to be asking. It's like, I get you trying to explain the subject or the topic that you want us to write about, but goodness gracious, get to the point. Like, I'm lost. So I just wanted to share that little bit about me, because I know it's got to be like some people out there who maybe have jobs that maybe you're not proud of, or people don't like it for you, but you're okay with it. I feel like if you're fine in your life right now, you focus on what makes you happy and what is doing well for you and your bills. Like I said, I was 19 and had my own home. My mother helped me through the process of that, but it was my own money that I got from my $10 an hour janitorial job, housekeeping job at the hospital. I was in school at the same time. It was very difficult, but I made it work. So yeah, but if you have any questions about it, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I have a great night.